earned the title Sugar tonight. Everybody can call themselves Sugar, but you got to earn that in the ring. Congratulations.
So let's get the introduction to the fighters now, and the ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon. Jimmy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the Minot Municipal Auditorium for our featured bout of the evening, brought to you by America Presents matchmaker Thomas Brown. This bout is sanctioned by the North Dakota State Athletic Commission. The Secretary of State is Alvin Jaeger. Deputy Secretary of State is Bob Shibley. Physicians at ringside, Dr. Michael Page and Dr. Darrell Williams. Timekeeper at the bell, Lois Seeley. Introducing to you our judges scoring this bout from ringside, Robert Walsh, Lawrence Veralrud, and Tom Walski. And our referee in charge of this, our main event, Rick Woodward. All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us across the nation, live from Minot, North Dakota, it's fight time on Fox. In our main event of the evening, a light heavyweight special attraction scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks with brown trim, hailing from St. Louis, Missouri. He weighed in at a trim and ready 172 pounds with a fine record of 24 wins, only one defeat. He has 21 big wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former IBF light heavyweight champion of the world, known as Kid Chocolate, introducing William Guthrie. His opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white trunks and fighting out of Davenport, Iowa. He weighed in at 173 pounds. His record stands at 53 wins, 4 losses, with 34 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former IBF middleweight world champion, the former WBA super middleweight champion, the current WBC number 5 ranked light heavyweight contender, introducing Michael, second to none. Once again, Rick Woodward, our referee in charge, now to give instructions.
Okay, you gentlemen got your instructions in the locker rooms. I want you guys to do 2 things. I want you guys to listen to me at all times, and you protect yourselves at all times. Okay, touch gloves. Good luck. Step back to corners.
Nunn smiling. Guthrie all business there for the stare down.
Bob.
Well, Guthrie guy really does have something to prove. Stepped up in his caliber competition to Reggie Johnson and promptly got himself whacked. And Michael Nunn, of course, he's not stepping off the gas here. Guthrie said he was going to get right after Nunn. He felt Nunn would run. A reputation, incidentally, that Michael Nunn has had on more than one occasion. Before we get too far into this fight, let's put the capper on the last fight, as Guthrie doing some business against the ropes on Nunn here. And that is, we mentioned earlier that Glenn Thomas, the loser of the last fight, and a good left hand from Guthrie. Again, we'll hold it here for just a moment.
Guthrie working, but Nunn is very adept at blocking punches on the ropes. Oh, he got hit cleanly there, though.
Good right hand. Well, Guthrie doing exactly what he said. Got to keep something in the tank, though, because Nunn does not appear to be hurt.
Nunn will goof around at times, though, and this may not be a guy to goof around with.
Better fight out.
And still, despite all that punishment, Nunn does not appear to really be hurt. Nonetheless, some good shots by Guthrie.
Watch your heads, guys. Watch your heads.
Not a bad ploy by Michael Nunn, if in fact it is a ploy.
Watch your pushing. Watch your elbows. Watch your elbows. Let him go. Let him go.
Guthrie holding now.
Nunn actually did get hit cleanly, though, a couple of times there, Barry, in that mix, which, if you remember earlier in his career, he never used to get hit clean. He rarely lost a round.
We'll get to that story of Glenn Thomas. Sean O'Grady does have an update, and we'll get to that right after this first round.
Nunn, of course, has 36-year-old legs as well, so you're not going to see him dancing for 10 rounds either. In fact, Guthrie hasn't had to look far for Nunn. He's right in front of him.
No, and we talk about what is this going to take out of Guthrie, but I think you could ask that question the other way, too. What's it going to take out of Michael Nunn? Pretty good left hand by Nunn. Landed in the back of the head, behind the ear. Nunn is not a guy who's going to get you out of there with one punch.
Well, he did with Sembu Kalembe.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
This was one of the great shots, but that was the greatest moment, I think, probably of his career.
Guthrie just stumbled back into the ropes.
But other than that Kalembe fight, it's been a situation where he's needed an accumulation of punches.
Well, now it's Nunn who's closing the first round with a bit of a rally. Very interesting first round. Well, we told you about the problems of Glenn Thomas before, that he collapsed after his last fight. Sean O'Grady has an upgrade. Sean?
Well, as a result of the low blows from Virgil Hill, Glenn Thomas has been transported to the hospital. Dr. Michael Page attended to him here. What's the prognosis?
Well, he did sustain a few low blows, and right now he's complaining of lots of abdominal pain and groin pain, and I think more of as a precaution, we sent him over there so they can run some tests on him, make sure that he doesn't have any ruptures or etc.
Yeah. Does it look like he's going to be all right from this?
I think he'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Doc. Thank you, Dr. Michael Page. We hope that he's okay. Back over to you guys.
All right, thanks, Sean. So that's the update on Glenn Thomas. He will go off to the hospital just to check him out, see what the story really is. Let's go back to the early part of the first round here, Rich, and it was all William Guthrie.
Yeah, he came out very fast. He was very intense. Came out to try to hurt Michael Nunn, and he did land some very clean shots in the early going. Nunn was forcing him to miss a lot of shots on the ropes, but those few got through, and I think carried the round for Guthrie.
Really interesting first round. And then Nunn actually came on toward the end of the first round. Things were much more on an even footing. But you make an interesting point, too, in that Michael Nunn has not done the disappearing act. He's been right there. And Nunn really does look fit. That's another thing that you need mention.
Well, you can see right away the difference in the hand speed, just the difference in the overall quickness of Michael Nunn now as he fights here, compared to one of those couple of occasions when we saw him over 190 pounds. A dreadful fight he had with Glenn Thomas.
And there's Guthrie again with that right hand in close quarters.
Guthrie is setting himself, getting on balance, and digging with a lot of leverage when he throws those punches.
Watch your shoulders, guys. Watch your shoulders. Come on, your hands are free. Fight out. Let him go, William. Let him go.
These two have a chance to rise in the rankings very quickly because of recent losses by the top two guys, Derek Harmon and Montel Griffin. So they have an opportunity to rise in the ranks.
There's a good left hand from Nunn.
Very sharp, crisp punch by Michael Nunn. Operating tonight without Joe Goosen, his trainer. And Nunn, I think his record with Goosen in the corner is something like 43-1.
Another left hand by Nunn, and Nunn again with a combination.
Quick, step back. Watch the pushing.
Since that opening rally by Guthrie, Nunn on an even footing. There was a right hand by Guthrie.